Hey guys, welcome back. So, this happened. We got another Tesla. Wasn't planned. My car died, my old car died, and we needed something new. And I was thinking about a few different options. And at the time, Tesla was having their 1.99 financing promotion on the Model 3, which I think was the first time that they have done it, or that they did it. This is back in August of 2024, September 2024. So, crunching the numbers, and with that interest rate, that financing rate of 1.99, it made the most sense to go after the Model 3. Otherwise, I don't think it would have happened. But because of that, we looked at the numbers, and it just made sense. And we looked to see if we can qualify for it. We did. So we got the 2024 Model 3 all-wheel drive long range. For a little bit, I thought about getting the performance, but I really didn't need all that. And then the kicker for me was the tires, being that you have two different sizes, up front and in the back. And they're summer tires, and I live in Pennsylvania, and I honestly did not want to be buying fresh set of tires to put on the car as soon as I got it, right? Another $2,000 to $3,000, because I probably would have bought the tires and wheels, so that I wouldn't have to be mounting and unmounting the other tires to the wheels every time. And then storage, I would have to find a place to store them in my house. And I honestly didn't want to do all of that. And I didn't need that performance. Like, I feel like the car itself, all Teslas are pretty fast as it is. And I wasn't going to be going to the track or anything like that. So I do like the exterior of the performance. The bumper, and then the rear diffuser, the red calipers, all that, super, super nice, but I didn't need it. And the Model 3 Long Range, has that great speaker system, has the cooled seats, has the LED, lights that go around the car. So it has everything I believe that the performance has, other than the speed, that's faster performance, I guess, let's call it. I've had the car for a little over 2 weeks at this point. First video that I'm making on it. The one thing that I did notice right away, and don't know if it's a big deal for many people. It's not even a big deal for me, but it was just nice. The doors, they have a nice little thump to them, more so than the Model Y. And even my son and Heather also mentioned how nice they sound. Has a more premium feel and sound to them. The stockless design, honestly, got used to it right away. It was actually not that bad, and I know people talk about how their blinkers don't always work, but I haven't had an issue with that at all. And you do feel like there is some feedback when you do press the button. I felt, or I thought it was gonna be more like a cell phone, when you're on your phone and you're clicking around, where you kind of get a little bit of feedback, but not really. But this, you actually, there's noticeable feedback that I get when I do hit the blinkers, either left or right. Haven't had any issues with that. I do like using the screen here for shifting, for either forward or reverse. It's pretty, intuitive. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about that, but honestly, I've had no issues with it. And it's gotten to the point that when I'm in the Model Y, which has the stalks, I get a little confused, where I'm just kind of going to the screen here, and I forget it's over here, and then I'm thinking all right, how do I do this again? I know it sounds pretty stupid, but with the Model Y, you go up to reverse, you go down to drive. It's a little bit different on here, so you go up to drive, back to reverse, which makes sense, forward and back. But just, I kind of forget sometimes, oh, what do I do? And then even the blinkers, I'm so it's kind of funny how quickly the brain just learns things, and then it's hard to kind of go back to the old thing. But I honestly have had no issues. And I wouldn't say that I would never go back to a car with stalks, because that's pretty ridiculous to say that. But I honestly like this design without anything here. It hasn't really messed up anything that I've done or, you know, been weird. When I first drove it off the lot, going home, you know, it was like about a 40-minute drive or so. A couple of times where I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But once you start, you know, getting used to it, you're fine. I'm still not exactly 100% perfect on the location of the blinkers. You know, sometimes I do have to look down to get it right at the right spot. But I think eventually that would just be second nature, where you just kind of like, you know, hit it without even looking. One thing for me, and I don't know if it's for other people, I feel like I wish that the blinker were moved. I wish the left one was on top and the right one was on the bottom. I feel like for me that's more intuitive, but maybe I'm the only person that thinks that way. Otherwise, I think it's great. You have all the buttons right on the steering wheel, which is nice. Wipers, here you have the button. You press it once, and then you have the same animation that comes on the screen, where you can go from 1 to, I think it was 3 speeds. Auto, I still don't use it on auto. I still feel like it's not 100% perfect. And when I am doing full self-driving, because the car does come with 30 days of full self-driving that I've used a few times, the wipers will automatically randomly come on. And I've had it 2 or 3 different times, or they've just turned on for no reason, no rain whatsoever. It just turns on. So still not 100% perfect there. I feel like the steering wheel is super, super nice. I definitely like this more than I do like the Model Y. A little bit more ergonomic. It's not a complete circle, I feel like, or maybe it is, but at the bottom it looks like it widens out a little bit more. And it's not as like thick as the Model Y is. The stitching on the back feels great. I do like this little like carbon fiber or whatever this is right here. Super, super nice as well. You have the Tesla spelled out as opposed to the Tesla logo on there. The scroll wheel buttons too feel a lot nicer. They move a lot easier. They just feel like they've improved. It feels like they've improved the steering wheel and the buttons over the Model Y. The screen is a little bit bigger this time around. The sound system is pretty damn great. I love bass, and I've turned up the subwoofer a little too much, I think, so I turned it on a little bit, but man, does it bump. Great sound system. I love playing music in here. 16 or 18 speakers or something like that. And that is one thing that I did want over the rear wheel drive, which is only 9 speakers, I think. But, you know, that wasn't the only reason why I went with the long range. I wanted an all-wheel drive car, being that I'm up in the Northeast. Granted, we haven't had many storms, major, you know, winter storms, or too many storms per season as we feel like we used to. I'm, you know, originally from Rhode Island, and up there, and even then I don't know what it looks like up there in the winters, but before they used to have, you know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 winter storms. So I just wanted that all-wheel drive for that reason. And being that with the all-wheel drive, you get, you know, all the extra features that the car has over the long range, over the rear-wheel drive, even though they did come out with a rear-wheel drive long range, that does get you more range. I still decided for the all-wheel drive, to have the all-wheel drive, and also for all those extra features that you do get when you, I guess, go up a trim in the Tesla. So I hope you're enjoying this ride with me. I'm just kind of driving around aimlessly, to be honest with you, just talking about what I've liked about the car. A few things that I don't like about the car. I guess going back to the blinker, sometimes and it's a kind of a stupid thing. If I'm listening to, you know, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever, I'll press the blinker, like the right blinker, as if that was going to change the song. So that's just kind of stupid on me, because you use the scroll wheel and you just kind of click it over or back or press it to pause the music. But I keep thinking that the blinkers are just they'll go back or go forward. Because I believe that's how my old car was. On the wheel, it had, you know, arrows to go back or forward to the next song. So I've done that a few times, which is kind of stupid of me. So that's kind of more of a me thing. So it's not something that I dislike. It's just something that I've done. Right now, it's not a big thing, but this, I don't know if you can see it from what I'm pointing at, the LED light. So there's a silver thing, a little silver trim under the LED light. When there's the sun shining like behind, coming down, it casts a really big reflection on that whole front windshield. I know, not that I know because I've never been in one, I don't think. With the white color interior, apparently there's a huge reflection as well. And my old car wasn't white on the dash, but it was cream, and I always had that same terrible reflection. So with this, you get it from the trim for the LED. You get that. Right now there's not much sun, but if there were, you can definitely see a crazy reflection there. So another thing that I'm kind of like about, and I was kind of excited at first, are the like blind spot like red dots that are on the speaker grills. I just feel like they're not in a great spot. It should be like on the rear view mirror, like most other cars are, because when you're looking over, you're looking at the mirror, you're not looking at the speaker grill. And the light's so small that, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's not very useful. It's better than nothing, and it was kind of laughable what I thought when you hit the blinker to go left or whatever, and then you have the animation on the screen, then it has a little red light. But like, I'm not looking at the screen when I'm turning lanes. I'm looking at my rear mirror, I'm looking behind me to see who's in my blind spot. So I felt that was kind of like, again, something that's better than nothing, but it should have been, in my opinion, in the side mirror, the indicator for somebody being in your blind spot, not in your speaker grill with a super little like dot. Not sure if if you try to merge, I don't know if there's a sound that comes up. I've never merged when there's somebody in my blind spot, but I would assume that's something that happens. And so yeah, that's kind of like something I feel like it's not the I don't know, the best thought out design, or maybe there is a reason for that madness. Whatever, that's my opinion on that blind spot thing. Another thing that I'm not a big fan of, and I know it's been an issue I guess for a while, is and now I'm going to complain about it on the other end, is the cup holders. The cup holder thing, there's like little rubber things, there's 3 of them. It's like too tight, at least for my water bottle that I'm using. It's probably perfect for water bottles, like the plastic ones, like that you just get from the store, like the ones you just throw away, or you should be recycling. But I have like a metal one, 24-ounce metal water bottle that I use, and it's just way too tight in the actual cup holder. So now I don't even put it in all the way, because it's just like I feel like I'm going to be pulling on it way too hard until the point where it's like maybe comes loose. For a second I thought that you could remove that piece and just go without it, but it's actually affixed to the cup holder, and I might buy like an insert to like make it wider. I know that I've seen those before for other Tesla models where you can get like a bigger inserts, you can use bigger water bottles, but I'm not sure if that's something I'm going to do. So yeah, so that's one other thing that I've not liked about the Tesla. I know it's me picking random little things, being a little nitpicky on some of this stuff, but that's just how I feel about it. Doesn't make me dislike the car whatsoever. I think it's a great car. I'm just talking to you about what I've experienced in the last 2 weeks. I was talking about earlier this super smooth ride with it. It handles bumps well. I avoid potholes, obviously, but sometimes you'll just hit like the manhole covers, and it goes a little bit lower, just because you can't move over. Like in this case right here, there's a car coming, so I couldn't move over all the way. I still was able to avoid it, but like think about that situation when the car's coming, you can't move because it might be too tight on the right. And when you are on FSD, full self-driving, it goes and hits all the bumps, right? Like it doesn't avoid them like I normally would, which I get it. Like it's it's supposed to drive straight, but it's annoying when it goes right over a bump or a hole or a pothole, and I'm just like, ugh. It's one thing I don't like about using FSD. Being up in the Northeast, you know, the roads aren't always the best. So that is just one thing I'm not a big fan of when using FSD. But this car, you know, eats those bumps, eats those, what's it called, potholes, bumps, whatever you want to call those. It eats them right up. So it's really super smooth ride that you have when you are driving this. Suspension feels a little bit, I wouldn't say super tight. I feel my OCC was a little bit tighter, but it has a nice little suspension to it. One thing that was surprising to me, because right now I don't have anywhere else to put my phone, is that the wireless pad actually works. I've been putting it down there because I haven't decided what I'm gonna use to hold my phone. On the Model Y, we have the VicSeed phone adapter here, or the phone mount here, which is super nice. I just haven't decided if I'm gonna put that one on or do something maybe in the vents. So for the time being, been using the wireless pad, and to that point, the wireless pad works. In the Model Y, it doesn't really work. I feel like no matter how I put it, maybe the pad is a little too high in that car, you know, where the coils are. But in this car, I put it down and it works. I was kind of shocked when I got home the first day I drove it home that it worked. I was like, oh, I got lucky. But then I put it back down and it worked again, and it kept working and it kept working. And yeah, that's something that I was super impressed with, the fact that the wireless pad actually works in this car. And mind you, let me show you, I have my phone cover on it. And then I have this thing right here, the Go belt still I have on it. And even through all of that, the MagSafe charger still works. So good job, Tesla, for finally figuring out the wireless charge pad. And so that's a little bump right there. Made it nicely. Here's another little bump, so you can feel all those. Well, it's a nice little road to hit it on, but there are always cops hanging around here, so we're not gonna do that. And honestly, I don't even think if I've yet to hit it. And I hate when doing landscaping and they have their blowers and they're blowing all the crap around. I know, you know, doing their job, but hate it when driving through it to get all that stuff on my car. The LEDs are great. I have them on auto right now, so they only turn on when it's dark. You could have them on all the time, but I think it's kind of pointless to have them on during the day. But it's a nice touch. Kind of weird, but like that ambient light just makes it easier to see, I guess. It's like, think about it, having, you know, an LED strip behind your TV kind of just makes everything a little bit easier on your eyes. So far I've really liked that, and it's a nice little feature. A lot of people comment on the LED strip. Overall, I'm super happy, super excited with the car. Such a fun car to drive. One thing I do have, and I haven't heard it in this drive, is in that left area here on the driver's side. I don't know if you can see me pointing over there. And I don't know if it's a Bluetooth thing. I don't know if it's just a speaker thing. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but it has like a little, I don't know, static sound to it. It's like, I thought it was the Bluetooth, like my phone, that there was like emitting some sort of noise or some sort of sound, and I disconnected my phone and then it stopped. But then, you know, it connects every time I come into the car, and then it did it again, and then disconnected it, and the sound was still there. I was listening to the radio and I could still hear it. So I don't know if it's something I have to take into Tesla to see what that is about. But it's not all the time. It's kind of random. I did take a little video of the sound, so that way if I have to take it to Tesla, I can show them what that is. And I don't even know if that's something that's like very common, or, you know, if they've even heard about it. So that is something that I've definitely noticed in the car. Another thing is the armrest. Let me see if you can hear this. I'm gonna stop and pull this right here. Park right here, sorry. It's a little squeaky. Even though the Tesla, the Model Y is a different model, I did try, pushing that armrest in, and there's definitely no noise. I did watch another video where the forget the YouTube the YouTube channel it was, but I'll put this on the screen. He picked up a Model 3, and his was doing the same thing. And he said he was going to bring it back to Tesla to get that changed out because he doesn't like those little, like those sounds. Doesn't really bother me, but if it's not supposed to do it, then I feel like it should be changed or replaced. And I was thinking about even putting a armrest cover on it, so it might be a moot point at that point if I do that. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not yet. Still a few things that I haven't completely purchased for the car and bought. I feel like the first day accessories such as your floor mats, mud flaps. What else did I get for the car? I'll link all the accessories that I've purchased for the car down below. And another one of the things that I did buy was the matte screen protector for the screen here, and I actually got one for the back as well. I'll do another video soon with the full self-driving. We'll have that. And then we'll also do auto park, which is kind of nice. We used it on the Model Y when we had the 30-day free full self-driving trial, and we'll do it on this one here. I don't know if you can see the screen, but there's like a parking spot right there that it's telling me I can park into, and then all these up here. See if I can, there we are. See, they're pulling up right now. We're not gonna try it right now. It's great because it does a pretty good job of getting the car aligned and right in the middle. It does take a little long sometimes, so kind of like not nerve-wracking, but it's kind of like, oh man, especially if there's a lot of cars around and you're like doing 75 like little turns to get into a spot. But I do like, backing it in, and usually I do back my car in to most spots or try to park far away, whether I park in, I back it in or not. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that when you do park, further away, there's no cars, and then you come out and now there's all the cars around you. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, there was no cars here when I just pulled up. I go inside, come out, and now there are, 4 or 5 cars around me. So I don't know if that's something you guys do, park, a little further away, but I typically do. Just don't fully trust everybody, So I picked this car up on Monday, or I picked this car up on a Monday, and on Friday of that week, so 4 days later, get an email saying that Tesla has reinstated the referral program, and I believe it's $1,000 off the car and $500 to the person who refers you. So that was a little annoying because could have, and I don't know if you can do it within the same household, do a referral. So I could just not have gotten anything anyways. But if you could refer in that manner, I could have saved $1,000 on this car, and then we could have had $500 in credits for the Model Y. And that was a little annoying, a little frustrating. And another thing is that I picked my car up on Monday, and Heather's mom picked her car up the Friday before. So a full week before the referral program email came out, and that could have been another $500 that we could have gotten for the Model Y and saved her mom $1,000. So a little annoying. Obviously there's not much they could do. We had dropped off Heather's car to the service center that's near us, and when we picked it up, we went into the showroom side and we're asking, hey, is there anything they can do? And he was like, what? The service advisor said, this has been the most asked question since this came out. And unfortunately, there is nothing that they could do, which, obviously we figured that was going to be the answer we received. But he's like, a lot of people are putting their referral code on their social medias and kind of putting a little post saying, hey, if you are looking to buy a car, save $1,000 using my code. So that is not a bad idea. And obviously in this video, I'll put my referral code if you're thinking of getting a Tesla and you want to save yourself $1,000. Use that code, and I, will also get $500 in return as well. So I'll put that code down in the description below. But yeah, that was kind of annoying that we weren't able to take advantage of the new referral code program. Let's talk about the cooled seats. They're great. We picked the car up and it was super hot that day. I don't know, it was like 85, 90, 95. I can't remember the temperature, but I remember it being super hot. And we turned these on and you're like, whoa, I feel freaking amazing. My son was like, what? He's like, this is gonna be great after practice. He runs hot, so he, loves everything to be super, super cold. And I think it'll be perfect for him. And it kind of sucks that they don't have the cool seats in the back. They have the heated seats, not the cool seats. I don't know if that's something they couldn't do or what the deal was with that, but it just feels like if you had them in the front, might as well put them in the back, especially when you already have heated seats. And I don't know if it's the same system or how that works. I've no idea, and I'm guessing it's two separate things. But I don't know. Maybe later on they'll add cool seats in the back as well, which I think would be a great feature. Screen in the back is great. My son loves it. He's played a few games back there, to the point where I don't know what game he was playing, but he was like getting Tesla cars, like that was like the reward that you had to do, like you racked them up. And we got back home and he didn't get out of the car for another 5 minutes. He was like, I gotta finish, I gotta get all the cars. So he's been loving that screen. He loves the fact that he can connect his headphones or his AirPods to it and just watch whatever he wants to watch back there. He loves having full control of the AC because, like I said, he does run hot, and he loves the AC on blast at all times. And I've asked him, and because my thing was like your neck's gonna be like looking down at that screen, and I asked him like, does your head hurt? Because he does get like car sick when he does look at his screen. And he says like his head does hurt, when he's like back there, and he's like, and I think a lot of that has to do with like when it's not cold enough. And I know I've gotten that when I was in the back seat, where it's like when it's like hot, you get a little bit more stuffy, and then your head starts to hurt. But I asked him if he got like any motion sickness or car sickness from looking at that screen, and he said he didn't. He said he had no issues with it. So I don't know. I haven't been back there and looked at the screen whatsoever or done anything with it, so I don't know but I think everybody's gonna be a little bit different with how they deal with that. And I think it's a nice little touch to have the screen back there. I know the X and the S both have the screens back there, and they brought them now to the 3, and I would assume that the Model Y, they're calling the Juniper, will also have the rear screen as well. It just makes sense for them to put that on there when that comes out. It's getting to the point now where in the mornings it's getting cold. I wouldn't say cold, cooler, and it starts to heat up. So the last couple of days that I've taken my son to school, I put the heat up, the steering wheel warmer or heat on as well on that, and I've noticed that at least the first day, it just didn't seem like the steering wheel was like as hot as the Model Y gets. And I was like, is it defective? And I was, trying to feel around different spots around the wheel. I felt like it wasn't all the same temperature. And then the second day that I put it on, it felt like a little bit better. I felt like it was more even. So I don't know what happened that first day or if it was just me, but I'll keep my eye on that to see if it's slightly different than the Model Y and the way it heats the steering wheel up, or if it's a defective, heating element within the steering wheel. I believe we put the heated seats on as well. I think that was fine. Didn't have any issues with that, or didn't feel any difference with that. The interior of the car, the little Alcantara, like kind of suede thing that they have on the doors here, super, super nice. My one thing, I don't know if it's like an actual thing that could happen, but people just running their fingers around it and through it, and it like messing, just kind of getting all messed up, where you can see scratches and stuff like that. But I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not. the handle on the door where you have the button to open is much bigger on this car, which is actually kind of nice. It's something that I do like on this over the the smaller one that's on the Model Y, and probably I'm gonna guess same the old Model 3s. I don't know about the X's and X's and S's, but definitely the nice bigger button. And still people don't understand, or they don't know. It's not that they don't understand, they don't know that how to get out of the car. So I always got to explain, like, oh, no, press that button up there. Because so some people think it's like the window, the button to put the window down. And I can see that. When I first got into the car, I had 2 warnings that, they had used the manual, what do you call it, the manual door opener. I don't know the correct verbiage for it, but the manual door opener to get out of the car, I guess. But they had to use it twice, and this is at Tesla. So maybe even the people that work there don't know that that is not the handle to get out of the car, which they should probably teach them. That's not how you get out of the car. So I don't know why they did it. I just saw that there was 2 alerts that said, manual door opener was used to get out of the car. And one thing I also don't like with the trunk, I noticed this when we were putting my son's, I think it was football or baseball equipment, I forget what it was. It's like there isn't this lip to put put stuff in and under or into the trunk. It's the actual exterior of the car, and I feel like that's just gonna get scratched by people putting stuff at the edge of the trunk when you put stuff in it and take stuff out. My old car had a black piece of plastic trim so that if I did put stuff on it, it wouldn't mess it up. I've been looking to buy one because I've seen that they have some black trim that you can put in there, so that way it's not the carpety part of it, which I believe that gets pilly and it gets dirty and it's hard to clean. But there's nothing that will cover where the car meets, the exterior of the car meets, the interior of that trunk. So that is something I'm not a big fan of. And the other thing is when the trunk opens all the way, even at that height, I feel like it's not even wide enough or big enough, opened enough. So I gotta watch my head every time I put stuff into it, just because it's pretty deep trunk. So, when I'm putting stuff all the way in, you gotta just be careful with that. And 2, the opening of the trunk is different than my old Volkswagen that I had a CC. And the one day when I was, I think, first day when I was putting in the mats back there, I hit my head on the opening, in the opening of it, and I had a hat on, luckily, because otherwise I feel like that would have freaking hurt way more, because I feel like it hit the back part of the hat more than it hit me, and I was my son was there, I was like, dude, what the hell, and I was like, obviously it's just getting used to a new car. And again, me just and my little nitpicks about it. So that's just something that I've noticed with the trunk that that I'm not a big fan of. Another thing is with the adaptive headlights, I feel like they don't always turn on, and it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's something that's a glitch in the software, because when I go into the lights and in the screen of the lights in the menu there, and then if I turn the headlights off and then I turn it back on, then it's fine, it works. So I don't know if it's something that the system had a little glitch and I just had to do that real quickly and then it works, because I've done it a few times, maybe a couple of times, three, I don't even know, but enough where I've noticed that I'm driving in completely dark area and the high beams won't turn on like it does in the Model Y. And granted, and another thing is, I feel like the regular, just the lights at night aren't as wide or as high as the Model Y. Sorry, the Model 3's lights, I think I said Model Y, the Model 3's lights aren't as high or as wide. I think wide is fine, actually. It's the height. And obviously the Model Y sits a little bit higher, so that's probably why that's the case. But yeah, I did something I probably shouldn't have, and I went into the adjust headlights in service, and I raised them up, but not high enough where it's gonna be hitting oncoming traffic, but just a little bit higher so that it just hits right below someone else's windshield. There was definitely some things with the car not 100% perfect, but overall it was pretty good. There was a few little what looked like scratches on the car, and mind you, this is an inventory car, so I ordered on Friday and I picked it up on Monday. We needed a car because, like I said, my car had died and I needed something before my son's school started so I can get him to and from school. And you hear that inventory cars are typically cars that somebody else didn't want for whatever reason, or they canceled the order, or now the car is there. But I was talking to a Tesla advisor, and he said that what happens is they make these cars in batches, and if somebody has ordered one, one of those VINs gets signed. Otherwise, they just send them to different showrooms. He goes, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody said no to this particular car. It just means that it was probably a batched car that just made it without being assigned to someone. And I believe I saw that the manufacture date was July of 2024. I picked this up in August of 2024, so it's not like it's an old car that's just been sitting there for months. And I looked around, it looked like there was a couple of scratches, but I told the advisor about it. He came out and he had this Meguiar's compound stuff that he used and took them right out. There was some sticky residue on the black trim. He was able to take that off as well. Because I was definitely not taking the car with that stuff all over it. And even though I was like, man, I hope that there isn't any major things with this, because I really do like it. They did have other inventory cars available, so it probably could have made something else happen. But I got the all-wheel drive Long Range in Stealth Gray, because that's the car the color I really wanted when I first saw it. I was like, whoa, that's a sharp looking color. My old car was black, and I do like black cars, but I don't like the way black Teslas look. I don't know why. That's just me. But I definitely like the Stealth Gray. And I just got the 18-inch Aero wheels because I just like the black look to them. I don't like the silver ones. I think they're silver, right? The 19-inch silver ones. So I just like the black look to those. Black interior. So, I didn't put any more money into, getting bigger tires or in black and white interior. I didn't really like the black and white interior. I like the black better. But when I was there, I did see a white Model 3, and that looks sharp because it has some the black accents to it. It just looks really, really, really nice. When I was there, I was like, oh man, that looks super, super sick. Slight buyer's remorse, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy with what I purchased. So like I said, overall, I'm super excited about getting the car. It's a great car. I've enjoyed driving it immensely. It's such a fun car to drive. It handles great. I haven't really gone out there and just hit it, so one day I will. I'm trying to think of other things that I don't things I want to talk about the car, but I can't think of much right now. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video on that stuff. Oh, one thing. It was brought to my attention that Tesla has a tire protection plan that I didn't know about that you can buy when you get your car, and you have 14 days to do so. And I called yesterday, and it was day 16, and they were able to honor it. And I kept saying to them, I didn't know about it, and I would have purchased it if I knew about it. And for my particular car, having the 18-inch wheels, it's $35 a tire, and it covers both the tires and the wheels. Not for curb rash or stuff that you did to it, but if, let's say, you hit a pothole, you pop it, or your wheels get bent, then it'll be covered. I do like the that feature where it's what is it, brake to drive or whatever it is, where it kind of detects what way you should be going, and you know, when you're fully stopped. Let me see if I can do it real quickly here. So I'm gonna put into park, and then if you hit the brake, it says press to drive, and you can see that there, without having to shift, it just, you know, automatically knows whether you want to go into reverse or you want to go drive. Definitely love that feature. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer than normal, but I want to kind of talk about my first impressions with the car. So thanks for watching. If you've liked this video, you know what to do. Give it a nice thumbs up. Comments, questions, suggestions, put them down below. And like always, keep on living a modern lifestyle through technology, and be ready for more Model 3 videos coming your way very, very soon. Bye.